A lot of people say that he's a fake. I could be convinced of that he's just doing it for the money. But the problem with that is he's such an awful, horrible person.
I have a list of names. Give me your thoughts on if they're a liar, a grifter, or they're just, confused and uneducated about the shape of the earth. We'll begin with Eric Dubay.
I mostly lean that he is just a grifter. Not fully, but he's too far embedded to and he won't talk to anybody. He won't even hardly talk to other flat earthers.
Yeah.
So
I tend to agree. I'm fully on board with that. In agreement with you there. Nathan Oakley.
A lot of people say that he's a fake. I could be convinced of that he's just doing it for the money. But the problem with that is he's such an awful, horrible person. If he's just playing a character, the character that he's playing using his real name and his real face is a disgusting and horrible character. So for that, I think no. Right. The Eric Dubay doesn't present himself as an awful person other than being a fan of the German leader circa 1940. He specifically did say that guy wasn't all that bad.
I didn't know that.
But Nathan Oakley every day gets on there and is awful.
Yeah.
And so his kids in public, I don't know if they go to school, if they're homeschooled or not, but can you imagine in middle school and if somebody knew who the Nathan Oakley character was, if it's a character, and their kid and their daughters are like, there's somebody in their classes like, your dad's Nathan Oakley? Oh, that's a horrible person, right? And that'd be so embarrassing for them. So I don't think you would voluntarily do that. So I think that's really who he is, probably.
Okay. Jeran.
I think Jeran has put up walls. I think he inside knows that things don't match. And if you watch his stuff, he doesn't talk about the shape of the earth. His main thing is NASA. He just can't not talk about NASA. That's it. Like this and this, like he can't, he doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that. And well, that has actually nothing to do with the shape of the earth. Let's go measure it. Well, he did.
And
I keep trying to introduce. I'm like, Jeran, look, we should cover this. He's like, nah. Like, there's always a reason to not cover it. I asked him, this is interesting. Let's do a show where we each pick 5 things that could falsify our model. Right. I could list 20 things that could falsify the globe. Sure. Right.
Yep.
The map not working for distances, right? Is one. The sun never setting between the Antarctic Circle and the Arctic Circle. If the sun never set for 24 hours at the equator, well, that would falsify the globe. And I asked him to do that, and he wouldn't. He's like, well, everything is skewed for the globe. Yeah. You just admitted something there, but he's like, he thinks that somehow latitude longitude has been mathematically manipulated so that it can hide, right? Because it's a spherical coordinate system, and it works, and the distances between points using latitude longitude and the Haversine formula works, and he knows he can't deny that, right? Because if you're in Australia, if you're in Melbourne and you need to go due west 0.25 degrees longitude, there's a certain distance and it matches the globe. It does not match the flat earth. He knows that works. But then he's like, oh, well, they somehow mathematically hid. Where? How could they mathematically hide it? It's not that complex. So I accused him of being a grifter back probably October or November last year in a video. And I have since taken that video down
Oh.
after talking with him. And I don't think I don't think he knows that the earth is a globe. I think it's too deep.
Mhm. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he does seem like one of the rather intelligent, and I always find it hard to put that together when someone speaks rather well and seems somewhat well educated, and they how could they really believe it like some of the other people?
Yeah. All right. So he doesn't have, I don't think he has like a college education. So, but you know what he does that other people won't do is he will actually look at stuff. Like I send people links to my website all the time where I've collected together this evidence. They won't even click the link once, right? That's to me, that's their admission that they know that they're wrong.
Yeah.
Jeran comes back to me. He's like, on this page, this. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I've never had a flat earther do that before, Jeran. Good for you.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm like, here's the explanation. And then he goes silent.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, did you run into a wall? Okay, fine.
I got a few more for you.
Okay.
Mark Sargent.
Mark Sargent is truly a dumb person.
Okay.
He is not to be mean, but Mark Sargent is just not smart. For someone to actually think that there is such thing as cold moonlight, you have to be really dumb. You have to have zero understanding of how anything works, because there's no way that light, which is an energy transport, could remove energy. That's not how it works. It can add energy.
Now you're speaking science, though.
Yes. He thinks somehow that space suits could not work in a vacuum. Why could a space suit not work in a vacuum? No idea why not. It makes no sense that he thinks that. He's like, they just explode. You don't know of rigid materials, right? Right. You've got cotton shirts. Okay, sure. Polyester things or latex. But what about jeans? It's not like there are difficult fabrics to find that don't stretch.
Yeah.
So he has actually said another one of his fake challenges is put me in a spacesuit and I will and bring me into a vacuum chamber and I'll leave flat Earth. Now that's a farcical claim because nobody's going to do that.
Yeah.
Right. NASA doesn't care about him. And of course, we know all flat Earth challenges are fake. That's the second law of FLIRF. And so would he actually leave flat Earth if he was put into a vacuum chamber with a spacesuit? No, he would not. Even if he did, how many flat earthers would leave because of that? Exactly one, Mark Sargent.
The guy who debated last night, Patrick Gunnels.
Oh, he's a true believer. He said he would bet his life that the Earth is not a globe.
And you believe that?
Yes,
he believes that.
I believe that he was telling the truth there. He's not that bright. He thinks he's very smart, but he's not.
Three more real quick. Santos, Karen B, and Mikey.
Oh, they're all true believers.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. Santos is a horrible monster, disgusting, evil, hate-filled monster. Karen B is not much better. And Mikey Smith. So Mikey Smith, you're talking about?
Yes.
I don't want to be mean. He's not very bright. He I'm sure could be certified with some real mental issue, right? So I don't want to be mean to him. I like joking with him a little bit. He gets angry at me all the time, and I'm kind of playful with him a little.
Yeah.
And he really gets mad. I'm not trying to anger him. I treat him differently than other people because I recognize that he's not that bright. And I'm hoping he doesn't watch this. I don't want him to watch this, and I don't say that to him.
Sure.
But he knows, right? I had him on my channel once, and he said when he was a kid, they alluded to different things that they'd done. So identified for him.
Wow. So all three, even Karen, you believe Ashley is a believer. That's interesting.
Oh, Karen, yes. Okay, I mean,
She makes money though, doesn't she?
she does. I don't think she makes much.
Okay.
She organizes the current Flat Earth convention, which is called Flatoberfest. I don't think that brings in much money for her. The tickets are 300. They have to rent a venue. There's a couple hundred people there. They pay to bring the people in, and I think they probably even like put them up in hotels. So I can't believe that it's much of a break even. I know that the previous one that was run by Robbie Davidson, Robbie Davidson got lucky. He got a bunch of Bitcoin money. So in 2017, 2018, he started, went through 2019 was the last one. And then he tried to sell it. Nobody wanted to buy it. Karen B she had already started Flattoberfest. And then the next year, like there was no Flat Earth convention except for her. So like everybody went there. So she's by default got it. But I don't know. I don't think she makes much at that. And her channels, she doesn't get a lot of views. I know what I get for money, and she's not making money, right? I still I'm not quitting my day job from what I get, and my channel I think is probably a bit more successful than hers. So
okay, fair enough.